Dear Class of 2020, this is it. This is the end of a 4-year journey that we started a short time ago. We walked into David Douglas 4 years ago, excited to partake in adventures that high school brought. At 14, we had no clue what was to come, but we knew that it was going to be something special. Freshman year, we had our whole high school career ahead of us. We experienced our first homecoming dance, football games, and spirit weeks. We faced hardship in the passing of 2 very special individuals this year, Mrs. Lysick and Jasmine Moonsavang, one of our very own. Their deaths stirred heavy emotions within our class, but we were able to mourn and highlight their lives in some of the most special ways. Our cafe commemorated Mrs. Lysick by renaming it to Dee's Corner Cafe. And we also celebrated Jasmine's life by making her our Scots Angel. Although the passing of these 2 very important people happened so soon and too fast, we began to fall in love with what it meant to be a Scotsman. Sophomore year, we didn't feel like kids anymore. 1 year in, and we were ready to make the hallways our own. We implemented Mental Health Week and the llamas, and even participated in the inspirational walkout surrounding all the gun violence that devastated schools all around the country. Junior year. What felt like not too long ago, but one of the most stressful years of our high school lives. Standardized tests, the heavy class loads, and yet another year of school. However, a few monumental moments that should not be forgotten is the fact that our boys soccer team became the conference champs for the first time ever, and all of us packed onto buses to go out and support them. Plus, our cheer team took first in the state and proceeded on to nationals. But specifically, I remember junior year watching all the seniors experience all the end of the year events, being excited to have that for us. Excited to be at the top of David Douglas and at the end of this crazy journey. Senior year. We started out with an amazing first day back, but as seniors, all of us pulling up to the pool parking lot with Dutch in our hands and ready to live out the last year of some of the best years of our lives. As our school year began, fall activities were breaking records with our football team winning our first homecoming game, both of our soccer teams participating in playoffs, and the introduction of a gender-neutral HOCO court. And we can't forget about the brilliant Holiday Inn musical put on by our very own theater department. Homecoming week came and went, with our 2 kings, Andrew and Jared, leading us through the dance that encompassed all the decades of music we loved. College applications went out in the late fall, and we were excited but nervous to receive our decisions back. It finally felt like a weight had been lifted off our shoulders, and we were ready to live in the moment of what it meant to be a senior. Before we knew it, it was Pack the Place, our last one ever. We cheered all night for our Scotsmen and strutted our David Douglas spirit throughout the stands. Both of our basketball teams made it to playoffs this year and represented David Douglas well in each of their conferences. Our swim team also took many individuals to state and competed with Kenny Wynn, Dawson Brummett, Anna Bargaric, Caden Skipper, Victoria Cornejo Lopez, Hannah Walker, Wendy Rios, Holly Lippert, Amir Mahdi, Braden Fransky, Trinity Cottle, and Tuan Vong. Our cheer team also placed second at state and represented David Douglas well. Plus, our wrestlers took 4 wrestlers to state this year, Hayden Naroon, Devin Simmons, Josiah Green, and Johnny Martinez, with our very own Josiah Green placing 3rd in state. Finals came and went as we realized that it was our last stressful week of tests of our high school career. We were anxious to get to the end, a jumble of highlights filling the last few months, like CJ McCullum showing up to talk with our Scotsmen, the Black Student Union talent show being so powerful at our winter assembly, the crowning of Michelle Lee as our 2019-2020 Rose Festival Princess, and the introduction of our very own Kindness Month filled with pledges and dares. With less of us showing up and more of us getting excited to be finished, we were approaching the end of this chapter. But before we knew it, everything felt like it was ripped away from us. The last of the crowded hallways, spirit days, games to watch, moments to spend together, and events that signified the immense accomplishment that came with graduating high school. The world is all dealing with the craziest of times, but our world feels as though it's falling apart. It's okay to feel like you've been cheated, like your senior year was taken from you, and like all the work you put in doesn't matter. But, class of 2020, I want to remind you that it does matter. What we have done in our short time at David Douglas High School matters. We started our journey 4 years ago, and just because it's heartbreaking to feel like we can't finish it, doesn't mean the accomplishments we have had as a class and individually are any less valuable. I want to ask you all to look back at the last 4 years with gratitude and peace of mind. The struggles that we endured, the happiness we found, and the growth we stumble upon all happened. Yes, it is the end of a chapter of our lives that feels incomplete. The lost events, dances, moments, and even graduation can be devastating. But this isn't the end of our lives. Just like we were 4 years ago, beginning a new chapter that was unknown, fearful, but inspiring, we are about to embark on a new era of our lives that brings new sadness, happiness, and growth. Let's all be grateful for the moments that we did share, the exciting times we did get to experience, and the events that did shape us into the young adults that we are today. Let us all reminisce on what we did have instead of grieve the things that we do not. It is heartbreaking that we aren't getting the celebration we hope to have to commemorate some of the best years of our lives. However, we are the generation of change. We have grown up in an era where history has been made. We are building a different legacy than we hope for our class, but it's a legacy that will be talked about for the rest of our lives. So, phone a friend, get on a Zoom call, indulge with one another over the remarkable platform social media has built for us. We are the generation of change. So, as the class that treads in unknown territory in the turbulent times the world faces, let's be resilient and strong. Let's cherish one another and be happy with what we do have together. Class of 2020, we have made it, and I am thankful that the journey to get here was with one another.